Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
And here we go again on a Tuesday. That means we are deep in the heart of Mandarin at Hurricanes Jointon Creek. Talking ball, having a good time as we welcome you to a Tuesday edition. Beautiful weather here on the First Coast. Terry Norvelle, Trenton Torsia. We hope to hear from Patrick Young a little bit later. We'll also hear from our buddy Kade Kistner from Sports Illustrated. We're going to kind of look back, Trent, with you and talk a bunch of sports with you. But Kade covers Major League Baseball for Sports Illustrated. Last week, they handed out all the awards, man.
They handed them out.
And not a lot of surprises, I don't think. You kind of thought Chris Sale was way up there for NL Cy Young. The two MVPs in each league were pretty understood, Ohtani and Judge. One thing I'll say as we get started, we got a lot of football to talk about. Trent is a Mississippi State guy. Obviously, he's got contacts in that state. Ole Miss just limped out of Gainesville with an ugly loss. We'll talk about that. Major League Baseball, though, real quick. I heard a stat last week that really tipped your hat to it was a really positive Major League Baseball season, I thought, across the board. It was a win for Major League Baseball. I heard that as an average, Major League Baseball, the batting average was like 245. It wasn't, which tells me baseball didn't have a good year because they juiced the ball. Right? They didn't juice the ball, and everybody. The average was 280, and 40 guys were hitting 50 home runs. It was a good season in Major League Baseball across the board because the game was good. The pace of play is better. The stars were stars, right? You can have stars that sign big contracts, and they don't play like stars. Your stars, Ohtani and Judge, played like stars. It was a really good Major League Baseball season.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting because the whole dynamic of hitting and pitching has changed. It's all power.
Sure.
So it's hit the ball out of the park. It's strike people out. And who cares about the batting average?
Yeah.
How many home runs you're going to hit? How many RBI you're going to have? And I get all that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the power teams played for the World Series.
I get that. Series, yes.
But the scrappy teams, like the Guardians –
yeah,
they scrapped their way to the
The game came back, I thought, to baseball. What I consider baseball. There was still a little bit of your two-hole hitter needs to get on base to get knocked in for a home run. There was, and as I said, there weren't 40 guys with over 50 home runs. It wasn't like the ball was just Rubbermaid, just bouncing out of the park. There were your power guys. Chris Sale was a wonderful story. Coming back, he wins the NL Cy Young. We'll talk with Kade Kistner a little bit about this. But, I mean, a lot of people thought his career was over. A lot of people thought his arm was done. He comes in for Atlanta, wins the Cy Young on the National League side. Skubal from Detroit, my God. I didn't really see him until the All-Star game, and I went, who is this guy? And, I mean, he was lights out in the American League.
Yeah. You know what's funny? If you go back in years and they talk about can a pitcher ever win the MVP? And it's like, and this goes back to kind of the Clemens era with it.
Yeah.
If you're 17 games over 500 as a pitcher, as a starting pitcher, do you look at that and go, where did my team finish?
Yeah.
Are we 22 games above 500, which might get you in the playoffs? And I'm 17 of them. That's pretty strong. So I think that the difference. So I remember when they started the pitch clock, pitch hit clock, and they said, "What do you think?" And I went to a spring training game, and my good buddy was the Orioles bench coach, Freddie Gonzalez, and former Braves manager. And I said, "What do you think about the clock?" And he said, "Can't stand it." What do the players think? They hate it worse.
Really?
Now, all of a sudden, it's not a factor.
Absolutely.
And games are moving.
Yep.
So that helps.
Yep.
And I think with the two marquee markets getting to the playoffs.
Yankees and Dodgers.
Or to the World Series, I should say.
Yeah.
That helps a lot too.
Sure.
But when you look at teams like Detroit, for crying out loud, they had a great season.
Yeah. And they scrapped.
Scuba, to your point,
Yeah.
He was probably the primary reason they got
he's
into
good.
the playoffs.
God, he's good. It's going to be interesting.
I mean,
it'll be interesting when we get Kade Kistner on. Going to talk to him about, obviously, the awards. I don't think there were a lot of surprises. We kind of knew who were going to win. Yeah. I got to talk to him about the Rays situation. I'm a little bit worried about the Rays in that stadium. The roof came off. They're really bickering. That area, that county, those counties are bickering with city council. I worry. I'm going to ask Kade about, is there a danger? That hasn't been the most stable location for a franchise. Is there a concern that they can't get their financial act together? They're having to play in the Rays are playing their home games in the Yankees spring training
in Tampa
because of the roof. Is there concern that franchise could be relocated? I mean, could a San Antonio, could a Orlando step in and say, hey, man, y'all can't get your act together? Major League Baseball says, you guys, it's not been a good marriage.
Yeah.
They built it in the wrong area, right? They built it in the wrong area down there.
It's not in Tampa.
Yeah.
It's in St. Pete.
That's a concern. And then we'll ask Kade, off-season moves.
By the way, they put the Rays on a deadline.
I saw that.
Yeah.
They got like Sunday. They want to know kind of where you're at. So I'm a little worried about that franchise. I could see from day one, there's been consternation between fans and that county and taxpayers and the organization. You just wonder, and Kade will have you wonder, is it prime picking time if you are San Antonio and say, hey, man, we'll build you, give us 2.5 years, we'll build you a Taj Mahal. And Orlando may say, hey, give us 2 years. Orlando's dying to get in the NFL market. They're dying to get into the baseball market to go with the Magic.
Which, by the way, matches about the time frame that the Rays are going to have to get their act together.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, sitting right there.
Crazier things have been done than, you know what? It's got to be here for the next couple of years. We'll make it look. But you know what? 2028, 2029, this bad boy is going to San Antonio, and they're digging dirt right now. Yeah. They're going to build it in 2.5, 3 years. Orlando, they're digging dirt right now. I worry about that. I know if you're a hardcore baseball fan in that Tampa St. Pete area, I think you're worried about it right now.
Well, and then also the fan base, right? It hasn't been there. There's college campuses that draw more baseball fans.
Terrible.
Than the average.
Literally.
Like on an SEC weekend or ACC weekend.
Literally,
like
the Arkansas, the Mississippi States, the LSU's on a big 3-game weekend will average over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They'll average 14,000, 15,000 fans. Yep. The Rays,
per game.
The Rays,
right.
The Rays. It's not uncommon for Tampa to put 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Now they may say 11,000.
Well, they do.
There's 6,000
because there's 11,000 season ticket holders or whatever. I mean, they report it that way.
Yeah.
So
interesting. It'll be interesting to talk to Kade Kistner about that. I'm a little bit concerned about that franchise, and will this be the tipping point? And they just say, "Hey, we're done." And everybody in every county is just not a hardcore sports fan. You know how many people just use Duval County? You know how many people in Duval County? Roughly 1 million people scattered about in our region. There's a huge percentage of people that don't follow sports. They don't care about sports, and it's their right.
Yeah.
They will never set foot in the entertainment complex down there. And they, if given a yes or no, they would say, I don't want my taxpayer money going down there, That's true across the board, I think.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But it would be I don't think so. And then really historically speaking, too, markets have duped the public with, by the way, we're going to raise taxes by X amount. We're going to go build this stadium.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're a $1 billion owner. Why don't you do it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of what, to keep it local a little bit. That's what Shad Khan and the city of Jacksonville are kind of fighting each other around
Yeah.
too. It's like
Yeah.
you have all this money. Why don't you do it? It's like,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute.
Speaking of Shad Khan, you transitioned. Trenton Torsia, who does a lot of our college baseball, our baseball stuff during the season, but we bring him on during the offseason as well. You transition into Jaguars. You mentioned the Jaguars. Yesterday, one of our topics was, I'll just get your off-the-cuff thoughts. 6 games left. The Jaguars are going nowhere. They're 2-9. It's a disaster. Trevor Lawrence fighting a bit of a shoulder injury, and he's been hit a lot. 4 years into this thing, he's been knocked around. His body's probably got a tweak here, a tweak there, a pain here, a pain there. He's got the major issue with his shoulder. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, if you're Trevor Lawrence, and I get it, you also have paying fans you have to pay attention to. They're paying for entertainment, so dogging it is hard to do because you have paying fans, right? You got to respect your fans that say, I'm shelling out money. If our A guy can go, I don't want to see our C guy going. If you were making the call on Trevor Lawrence, 6 games left, they're going nowhere, you could make an argument. Now, you may have to do it in hushed tones. You may not be able to say this publicly, but you say, you know what? For the good of the organization, are we better off, A, putting Trevor in the garage for the rest of the season and tweaking everything, using a car analogy, get the carburetor right finally, get the suspension right, get the right. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tweak this Ferrari and get that car ready to go as close as we can for next year's starting line. When we're right. And the spinoff with that, before you answer, that would be a way of the number 1 pick in the draft is valuable. You don't want to say we're tanking it, but no. you could rest your Ferrari in the garage for 6 months and get your Ferrari as close to factory settings as you can possibly, and it almost may help you get the first pick in the first draft, in the first round, which is the most valuable pick, and the Jaguars need a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on what to do if you were the Jaguars?
2 thoughts. One is, if Trevor has any setbacks with shoulder issues, and then all of a sudden you go, okay, this isn't a minor issue anymore.
Right.
This is kind of major. Are you starting to cut into preparation for next season because you never got to 100% and you tried to play? And, certainly you're not looking for a really bad injury.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know how things happen, man. You and I played baseball. You have an arm problem, shoulder problem, turns into an elbow problem, turns into a then it becomes a
sure.
Do I have a sense of confidence anymore?
Yeah.
Right. You have an O-line that's not very good.
I'm glad you went there.
So you're almost putting him in harm's way.
Yeah.
Now the second part to the question you asked is, you get that number 1 pick and you've got your quarterback. Guess what? There's a couple quarterbacks out there, and there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks.
That you can use that pick to get multiple players.
To get multiple picks and then move back in the draft.
Yeah, you may get a starter or 2 and their pick, whoever they are.
You can you get their first round pick, you could get a second and third round pick.
It's funny you mentioned that. Trevor has gotten drilled over 3.5 years.
That's why he's hurt.
I mean, he's gotten drilled over 3.5 years. What makes you think if you bring him back to a team that is, I mean, the Jaguar play, I know they're professionals, but they've washed their hands. If you've gotten drilled by an offensive line that was, and I don't want to say this because it's going to sound bad, but really trying during certain portions of the season, you're rolling the dice. He may get his head knocked off in these last 6 games against a patchwork. Oh, by the way, the season's going nowhere offensive line.
And the locker room's been lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a fact, but I mean,
it feels like it does.
We've been around long enough to realize that. And then you risk a bigger injury. And to my earlier point, it's like, if you get hurt to the point where you're rehabbing into preseason or the first couple games of the regular season, well, now you're in the same situation.
Yeah.
So
I'm not so sure that that's not the smart way to do it. And I don't want to say you.
Well, he's got to be cleared 100%.
I'm not saying you want to quote unquote lie to your fan base, and I get it. They are your ticket buying, and you owe them something. But man, I look at it and I say, what's to be gained in the last six games? I don't think they're mathematically out of it yet, but they're not going to the playoffs. Okay, are they mathematically out yet? I think they may take another game or two. They got 6 left, but they're not going. They're 2-9.
No, but if you look at the standings, it stacks up at that 5-6, 7-5. So I would say not mathematically, but
they're heading that way.
Principally,
with that said, by saying let's shut him down, let's see if we can get him as healthy in the offseason, 6 months of the offseason before they get back on the field in May for a little bit. Let's see if we can get, and he's the closest thing to a franchise player on that roster by a mile. I include Hines Allen, who I think has taken a step back, Walker, the young receiver. Wouldn't you agree? Trevor Lawrence is the closest to a franchise star down there. With that said, why not do a 2-for-1? Number one of your 2-for-1 is get him as healthy as possible. Get him as healthy as he possibly could be since coming out of Clemson, basically. Yeah. Okay? We'll tweak everything, anything he needs to be right for May when you come back. And secondarily, by taking him out and getting him healthy, that's a positive. And I hate to say it, but that helps get that number 1 pick. Wow. That I hate to say that, but it's a double dip, isn't it? Isn't it a double dip?
No, it is a double dip. You may not even need that. No, so you realize, everybody realizes Trevor Lawrence was the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
So you're not a good team to begin with.
Well
you have the number 1 pick in the draft. So you're already coming into a situation, and if you look at the statistics, because you know how those guys like to do that, right? And they're like, well, he has one of, if not the worst, winning percentage of a starting quarterback in the history of football.
Great.
And it's like, is that on him? I mean, the fact that
it's hard to put it all on him, I'll tell you that.
Well, your O-line is porous.
Yeah. Your receivers have been a mismatch.
Your receivers have gotten hurt, or they remember early in the season they dropped footballs.
Yeah.
At key moments. So
I mean, the brightest spot this season for this dreadful Jaguar season by far is Brian Thomas Jr., right? Yeah. I mean, but outside of him, I tried to tell people in the offseason, guys, I think Gabe Davis is just a guy. Well, Gabe Davis is just a guy. Guys, who's the little slot receiver? Christian Kirk. Nice little slot receiver, second or third guy. He now is getting late in his career. He was hurt for a half a season last year. You can't count on him. He's hurt the rest of the year.
He got paid, too.
And he got paid, and the word is he's expendable. I'm not so sure that double dip is not the way to go for the Jaguars. And you can't say it publicly because you've got to respect your ticket buyers. You know, and I explained this. A lot of people don't think it this deep. I don't think. Yesterday I explained, keep in mind, the big bad NFL, they are in competition, not necessarily with basketball, baseball. The NFL is in the entertainment business. The NFL is in business against your local golf courses, your movie houses, your malls, your marinas, right? Yeah. And if you just bail out, you got to be careful just bailing out because next year somebody's going to go, am I buying season? Yeah, they'll probably bail out the last 4 games anyway, and I'm stuck going to see Mac Jones quarterback. Yeah. Well, you got to be careful just bailing out is what I'm saying, and tanking for the first pick. It's a tough, fine line to walk.
So I've been saying this for a few years now. If you lose, like I grew up in Miami, I'm a Dolphin fan.
Sure.
Because everybody until like people our age, you had a team already. If you lived in Jacksonville.
Well said.
So if you take a look
and you're over the age of 2. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll reference my kids. had 3 kids in their 20s. It's like, if you lose that generation, you're done.
Agreed.
So it's like,
agreed.
You can, and they are fighting their tails off.
Yeah.
To stay in there. And
I agree, man.
I want to root. I'm going to buy the jerseys. I'm going to do all that stuff and try to support them.
Yeah.
But then that's like, for what?
I agree.
You're spending a ton.
You are, and we're coming up on a break here, but I want to throw this out. You got to give these fans something, right? Something to rally around. Win one for the old team goes. When you're getting bashed like they have, I mean, Shad Khan's record as an owner is unbelievably abysmal.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. We have wonderful sponsors here. Hurricanes here, Georgian Creek. They do a great job on football weekends, college and NFL. They're crowded. All these places are crowded. Probably the biggest place we go to Monday through Friday that can handle the biggest crowd, and I've been at all these places during football days, Saturday or Sunday, is Bricks, our Friday location, Jack's Beach. It's big, it's indoors, it's outdoors. They get big crowd, and it's interesting. That beach crowd is a young crowd generally. The beach is a sexy young place, okay, right? That crowd that goes to the Bricks, Jack's Beach, Bricks, on a Jaguar Sunday, it's predominantly in their 20s. They're the young, pretty young, 20 to 35, let's call that 20 to early 30s. And that's that group that was born into the Jaguars that you just referenced.
Right.
And they love the Jaguars, but they're only going to take so much. I see them. They show up and they're pretty people. They're 25, right? It's boyfriend, girlfriend, and they're decked in teal and Jaguar, but you can only take so much getting smashed in the face before you go, I'm not buying a ticket, and I'm not
my money elsewhere.
Somewhere.
Yep.
I'll stay home and watch them. Yeah.
Here's the other.
They need to win again soon.
Yeah, and here's the other part of that, because I think a lot of cities have this issue. Is okay, Cowboys come to town, Packers come to town. You're going to have
it's embarrassing.
More road fans than you are home fans.
And how many times has that happened down here? It's at least been a push.
All the time.
It's at least been a push many, many, many times.
And that's embarrassing.
I mean, you're going to see that same, and we'll take a break, come back, we'll talk some more college. We'll get some college football with Trent, our buddy Trenton Torship. You're going to see that, and this happened quickly. But fans can be fickle, and your money can be fickle. We're going to see that Saturday night in Tallahassee. Florida is going to roll over to Florida State in Tallahassee. That's a night game, and you know where Tallahassee's at. Tallahassee is an awkward area. Yes, there are Florida State fans in Tallahassee. Don't get me wrong. I get that. But their feeder systems to fill that stadium are long drives. Jacksonville's that can be a nasty 2.5-hour night drive after a night game.
Yeah.
Coming from somewhere in Georgia or across the Alabama line. There are going to be more, I think, Gator fans in Doak Campbell Stadium Saturday night than Florida State fans. The stadium's under construction. They're down to 55,000. From 80, they're down to 55. Florida State's 2-9. They've gotten their brains beat out. It's a night game. Most people come from a nasty drive.
Yeah.
Florida State fans aren't going to go to that game. And they think, wait a minute, the last quarter and a half is probably going to be nothing more than this. That's what they're thinking.
I get it.
They're not going to get, but they've gotten their brains beat out for 10 games now, 11 games, all in all. You can only ask your fans to do so much.
Yep.
You know?
No, I mean, I agree with that, especially on the heels of going undefeated last year. It's a bowl season. It's like, how in the world, and I've asked Florida State fan this, I'm like, how in the world do you fall off a cliff like that?
We'll break, and I'll give you my theory. If you remind me, I'll take your theory on the other side. The way I explained, they were 13-0. They lost their starting quarterback. They limped into the ACC championship game, won it to stay undefeated. Went to the bowl game. Georgia beat them by 60. Not just a throw-in number. It was 63-3.
Yeah.
That's not just a throw-out number.
No.
And then Since then, they've gone 2-9. I truly believe this. A couple of things had to play into it. 13-0, and damn it, you guys can just say, hey, SEC Terry's at it again. To me, 13-0 ACC is about 9-3 in the SEC. I think their conference masked a little bit. That wasn't a 13-0 if you're in the Big Ten or the SEC.
Yeah.
They also had a special.
I don't disagree with
and they also had a special player. Jordan Travis won 2 or 3 games by himself in that 13. But what a fall! What a fall! I'll take your thoughts on that on the other side, Trenton, towards you. One down, a long way to go. It is a Tuesday edition. You know that means we are in the heart of Mandarin at Hurricanes Jointon Creek. A lot of ball to talk. We'll get back to some baseball about 4:40, but Trenton Torsia joins us on the other side. College football talk from a wild Saturday that just wrapped up. What a day in college football. We'll talk about it with you on the other side. The Young Norvelle Show right here from Hurricanes Jointon Creek.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Beautiful, beautiful shot high above the downtown city of Jacksonville with that gorgeous river that we have never taken advantage of. And my 800 years I've lived here, we've never taken advantage of that river as we walk back. It's a Hurricanes Tuesday, Jointon Creek. We're in the heart of Mandarin. Terry Norvell, Trenton Torsi. We'll talk some baseball about 440 with Kade Kistner, our buddy from Sports Illustrated. He's the baseball publisher. Every time I see that shot, man, Baltimore, San Antonio, every city in the world takes advantage of a river, beautiful river cutting through their downtown, except Jacksonville. The river's just been there. It's just there.
I've taken advantage of it.
But most, we don't as a city.
Do you remember when game day came to Jacksonville? I forget how many years ago. And for the Florida-Georgia. And they did it right there at
beautiful.
Metro Park or whatever.
The landing. I think the old landing. They had it on a stage right there by the water.
It was insane.
It was. It really was. I was teasing going to the break that I was going to throw something your way. Do you remember what it was? Because I don't. If you don't,
Florida State.
Yeah, I think
the demise.
The demise. That was my theory that 13-0 is not quite 13-0 outside of the ACC. But what are your thoughts? I mean, this is a colossal fall from 13-0 to 2-9, probably 2-10, and the wheels have come off down there.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. And then when I've talked to Florida State fans, they're like, "Well, we lost a lot of people." I said, "Okay, but it's Florida State. It's not like you had one good season in 8 or 10 years, and then you're going to fall back to reality or whatever." I don't know, but they're flipping players now. That they're down to 4 signees. I think if I read that correctly.
I know.
So, and they just lost one. Today or yesterday?
I think another one. A running back today flipped to Florida. The Gators have just pillaged FSU's verbal commitment. I get it. They're not there. By the way, signing day is next Wednesday. So FSU, it would take a win. Yeah, it would take a win Saturday, and they would have to turn some guys quickly because next Wednesday's signing day. A week from tomorrow is signing day. It's not like you could beat Florida and have 2 months to start reworking guys.
And we've talked about this forever. Think about the whole signing recruiting period. If you think, and there's, by the way, Florida State's still paying Willie Taggart. So you've got that.
Ooh.
Now you've got Norvell. Is he going to be there? And if you're a college kid, you and I were recruited right out of high school for baseball. So it's like, one thought is, how long is the regime going to be there that believes in me? Yeah. And if you're on the fence with that, which I would be if I was considering Florida State football, it's and
different coaching staffs have different preferences. Your staff may have said, "Man, we like shorter, crafty left-handed pitchers." New staff comes in that you know what I mean. You may worry. Wait a minute, this staff gets blown out. The next staff comes in. No, we want 6'4", broad-shouldered, right-handed Tom Severs. And I'm not that guy.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy.
Nor am I.
And the other concern for Florida State, and I get it, there's signing day December 4th, which is right around the corner. I don't think even a win over Florida, again, that would be Saturday night. They sign. There's a dead period. You know that. There's a dead period, I think, Sunday at 6 p.m. before next Wednesday. So you wouldn't have much time to turn back guys, right? You unless they call you, there's a dead period, number one. Number two, if Florida State's had such a bad year, of which they have, and they've lost their high school recruiting, of which they have, what makes you think guys are going to want to jump into their program from the portal? Quality guys. Quality guys are going to go, what do you mean? It's a tough situation.
No, they're already there, and I don't think you're not gonna flip somebody who's maybe on the fence and go, you know what? Now I'm going to add Florida State back into the mix in the next couple of days.
I mean, you've got hours
when it's commit period.
Yeah.
So what's interesting? Remember when we did this show on NIL? We did like a 2-hour show.
I remember well.
Brent Baird was on.
Yep.
And we talked about the pros and cons. I don't want to get into all that.
Sure.
But it has created some parity. So it's like, if I'm NIL donor and I look at Florida State's program right now, how much money am I pumping back into the program that's going to be potentially 2-10?
Yeah. And
after a 13-1 season.
The other thing that is really killing Florida State, and I understand why Mike Norvelle did this, because he had to do some stuff, but trying to recruit a kid to sign with you in 7 days. What is it? Tomorrow is Wednesday, right? Okay. You can't even tell him who your offensive or defensive coordinator is or receiver coach, because he fired all three of them like 2 weeks ago.
That's a great point.
And I get it. He needed to make a statement, but man, that's hard. With that said, I just don't think there's that magic out there in the portal to build Florida State back up like this coming out of this year. I mean, this wasn't, there's 5-7 and you're disappointed. There's Florida's year last year. You're 5-7, whatever. That was a bad year.
Yeah.
That was a disappointing year. FSU's 2-9. Their win is over Charleston Southern, and California probably should have beaten them. That's their 2 wins. 5-7 versus 2-10 if Florida beats them. That is a bad season. This is a colossal. 2-10 is one of. I don't have their record in front of me, but I know I go pretty far back with Florida State football. They've had an 0-11. I know that. They've had a 1-10. We're talking Darryl Mudra and Bill Peterson in the early 70s. 2-10 at FSU has got to be one of the 5 worst in program history.
Yeah.
That is different than 5-7. 5-7, okay, we had some injuries. The ball bounced wrong 2 games. It was a hiccup. You can't say 2-10 is a hiccup. That is a disaster to try and come back from.
Yeah.
It's tough. Tough.
And the next question is going to be, how do you fall off the shelf that far?
Yeah.
It's probably the 3rd time I've mentioned it, but I mean, if you think about it, it's like, what the heck, man?
Real quick, we're going to go to break. We're going to hopefully get Kade Kistner on, talk about baseball, awards, stuff, everything going on around Major League Baseball. Back to the Jaguars real quick. And it's another negative topic. I hate to keep bringing up negative topics, but man alive, Mac Jones, he has not played well. And your thought.
Well, he didn't in New England either.
No. Your thought as a Jaguar fan or Jaguar player personnel front office guy is, okay, maybe Mac Jones can play decent, and we've got him under contract. We can dangle him for a draft pick, a 3rd pick. If he shows he has stunk up the joint. On top of that, what was it yesterday? The Giants, they just out-release Daniel Jones. So I think that takes away Mac Jones's. I think people look and go, well, I don't even think Mac Jones is as good as Daniel Jones, and he got out-released. I think that kills Mac Jones's any value on a market. I don't think Mac Jones has any value now because he's played so bad.
He doesn't. I don't know how many years he has left on his contract.
Nor do I.
He's probably still under his rookie contract. So maybe he has another year left. And you look at that and you go, well, there's no value there.
None.
Even guys that have what they call dead cap money, where it still goes to the organization that you're leaving, because the Giants are going to have dead cap money on Daniel Jones because they paid him.
Absolutely.
They paid him. He was making like
absolutely. And
$35, $40 million.
And you feel for Mac Jones, a local kid and all. He's had 2 starts now, right?
He's a great kid.
He's going into his 3rd start, I think. Yeah, and I don't know if there's much he can do now. This was his final chance. Now he'll bump around and make good money holding a clipboard. He was a former 1st-round pick.
15.
A 1st-round pick. This was his final chance to show, hey, I can give you some juice. I think now, barring him lighting it up next several games, I mean, he's a clipboard guy. He wanted one more run at being a starter, and he's played himself out of that, I think.
And you just lost Gabe Davis, which
Yeah.
you mentioned him earlier. I just want to make
Yeah.
one comment on that. You know who was on the Bills or in the Bills wide receiver core when Gabe Davis was there?
No.
Stephon Diggs.
Oh, my.
So think about
Oh, my.
he's being double teamed.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis has chances. He looks better than all of a sudden you go, yeah, we're going to take a flyer on this guy or a semi-flyer on this guy. And he was a number 2 guy.
Just a disaster. Now he's hurt. I get it.
Well, I know.
But he wasn't lighting it up.
No.
He was Gabe Davis, as I tried to tell people in the offseason, I think he's just a guy. I think there are 50 Gabe Davises in the NFL, and there were. But he came here, and you know me, I've got the saying, the offseason fluffy Jaguar and local media blows things up so much. I think that was a classic example. I was like, well, who is Gabe Davis? You know?
Yeah,
he's wearing teal, so he's going to catch 75 balls. Well, I got to see that.
Yeah, no, because he never did before.
Yeah, he never did before. Let's take a break. We hope to hook up with Kade Kistner, our buddy from Sports Illustrated, talking a little Major League Baseball. All the awards were given out last week, and there are some different storylines. Off-season trades, what signings, where do we think players are going to go? Boy, there's some big names out there with pen in hand, and they're not sure where they're signing. The awards were given out, and you probably heard there's another flamethrower from Japan that has got his walking papers, and he is on a pedestal saying, bring me the offers. Another guy throwing about 101 and painting the black with a breaking ball. Sasaki.
Probably a 7 digits.
Sasaki.
Probably a 7 because they all have 7
Who gets Sasaki? We'll talk about that if I'm pronouncing his name right. That and a whole lot more. It's Tuesday edition. The Young Norvelle Show live from Hurricanes in Joint Creek.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jacks with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years, and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices or pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
Get right back into a beautiful afternoon here cooking and Jack's Vegas here. Good looking over. That's a great shot right there, isn't it, Trent?
It's a fantastic shot.
Trenton Torsia, our baseball guy. You hear Trent a lot during Major League Baseball season, college baseball season. The lefty from Mississippi State is hanging out with us today. We hope to have, I think we got Kade Kistner on, our buddy from Sports Illustrated. Time to talk a little Major League Baseball. We touched on it, Trent, but Cade's got a real good handle on it. Cade, you there, buddy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, you sound good, my man. How are you, man?
I'm good. Busy part of the year right now, but living the dream.
Yeah, man, it is a good time of year. Last week, Major League Baseball kind of, they always have their week of awards. And Cade can jump in. Trent can jump in as well. Cade, the majority of the awards that went out, kind of not a lot of surprises, right? We kind of, there weren't a lot of, man, how's that vote going to go? I mean, you kind of knew the MVPs. You had a good idea of the Cy Youngs. Did anything surprise you at all?
Absolutely not. And, you kind of just said it best, right? I mean, you had Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani kind of took the cake at the top there with the MVP. I think, Paul Skeens was an absolute shoo-in. There was a little bit of talk about, the young kid from the Padres potentially giving, Paul a run for his money. And so then too, it's just, the manager, even the Manager of the Year award, went to both, very deserving managers, and there was no surprises, I don't think.
Was that, and Trent, you can help me because Trent goes way back, played in the College World Series. Pat Murphy, the manager Murphy.
Yeah.
Is that the old Notre Dame Notre Dame college guy, cut his teeth? I think he was. And the reason I bring that up, you don't see that very often. If I'm thinking of the same guy, that you work the big time colleges and then you get out of it. You kind of start early and you start in the minors. But I think that was the old guy, Pat Murphy, that was at Notre Dame years ago. I think.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but there's a lot of guys that get in the minor leagues and then they slip back into college baseball.
Go get me. Yeah.
And then they go back and give it another shot again. But
I think that, and Kate, I don't know if you know that either. I think that Murphy was a very successful Power 5 baseball guy. Yeah. And you don't see that all the time. You don't see that all the time. Anyway, I didn't mean to get us off on that. Kate, what are your thoughts on the Major League Baseball season that just wrapped up as a whole? I think it was yesterday, I heard a number that I think it said Major League Baseball across all of Major League Baseball, the overall batting average was like 245. And that grabbed me because I think it was a crazy successful baseball year across the board. And it wasn't like the ball was juiced. We didn't have 40 guys hitting 50 home runs and, 100 guys batting 310. I think baseball had a great year and stood on its own, stood on the game. It wasn't trumped up. I thought it was a great baseball season. Cade,
I agree. It was very entertaining. I think, one thing that is going to maybe have to be addressed moving forward, or at least in the near future, is that the pitching has gotten just so good at every level. And it's putting the, obviously the batters, they've got to kind of, catch up a little bit, but there's going to reach a point where these guys are throwing so hard, so fast that I think you're going to see a little bit of offensive production slip, and Major League Baseball is going to maybe have to figure out a way to kind of allow there to be more parity between the guys in the batter's box and the guys on the mound.
Kate,
Go ahead.
Kate, I actually have a question on that because I'm a little bit old school baseball, and the way I see baseball, even at the youth level now, is there's a lot of lift. So it's either boom or bust. I'm going to hit it out of the park, or I'm going to strike out a lot. And I agree with the velocity, but then I look at it and I ask people that have been around the game, former major league players, and I said, is the new 100 really the old 90?
Yeah.
Or is it? And they think the technology with measuring velocity is better. So 90,
maybe the
90 might have been 100 back
then
in the day.
Interesting.
I'm just wondering what your thought is on that.
Good question.
Yeah, no, I think there's probably some validity to that, right? Where you have better technology that's able to kind of track these balls and these pitches. I mean, all the way up to StatCast, right? I mean, we have more information and analytics at our fingertips now than we did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, much less 30 or 40 years ago. But the other thing too is that kind of talking about different levels of baseball. Like you said, all the way down at the youth level or travel ball, it's about getting the ball in the air, and also these kids are becoming one sport kids now. Good or a bad thing, and so obviously you're going to see a much higher level of talent with these kids that are coming up in this new kind of world of development, and again utilizing all the the statistics and analytics too, all the way down at the very young levels in terms of development.
Kate, let me ask you, going back to what you said about, I think kind of, I'm going to throw a word in. There's worry that there may be a little imbalance. Pitching has gotten so big, strong, and fast, and I mean they're hitting 101 and still with run, and I'm going to throw the word imbalance. If you think it comes to a point where Major League Baseball says we've got to do something, the hitter can only do so much, right? I mean, the pitchers are advancing their fastballs, their spin rate. In terms of what could Major League Baseball do and when, I'm going to ask you, do you think there would be anything drastic done by baseball 3 years from now, 5 years? Is it 10 years it would take? And other than lowering the mound or something, what do you think they could do, MLB, to kind of get that imbalance, if there is an imbalance, too much velocity pitching? I know it's theoretical, but what are your thoughts on what MLB could do and when they might finally say, we got to do something?
Well,
pitching's too advanced.
I think, like you kind of saw, you had mentioned it, this season, the parity was pretty good. But again, we're starting to see these guys, take Paul Skeens, for example, coming in his rookie year and, 170 strikeouts and throwing 102 miles an hour. And so that's going to be more and more commonplace. So I don't think I don't think MLB would do anything in, say, the next decade.
Okay.
And as far as what to do, I'm just glad I'm not the MLB commissioner if ever it comes down to having to change the game to make to allow there more parity. But
and not to cut you off, but you're right. You make a great point. You can't be too hasty, right? You can't just, okay, we're going to whack the mound down a couple inches, or you just can't move it back either, though. I could see cutting it down, but you can't be too hasty, I think. You would still need a few more data points, wouldn't you?
No, but they've been talking about that for years. But I think the other piece of it is, how deep do starters go in games anymore?
Yeah.
I want 5 innings out of you. Then I'm going to go to my specialty guys. And what the league did that I thought was pretty cool, and Kate, I'd love your take on this, is you got to throw to minimum 3 batters.
Yes.
Rather than lefty coming in facing
lefty, righty, and lefty. Yeah, that's
and
tough.
Just be done. But they're not asking starters to throw 120, 125, 130, 40 pitches, depending on who you are. And I'm going to go to the bullpen as early as I can. And there's teams that are just doing bullpen games.
And Kate, along those same lines, do you think, it's just your theory, do you think, and you as well, Trent, I wonder if the Tom Seavers of the world and even the power pitching Roger Clemens of the world, did they have 101 in their arm, but they said, wait a minute, it was just understood. I probably need to throw 110 pitches, so I probably don't want to start throwing 101 in the second inning, first inning, right? I wonder if they monitored they might have had 101 and said, wait a minute, I'm paid to go 8 innings, not 4 innings. Okay, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Trent was right. I love the new, the relatively new rule of having to, throw to 3 batters before you can come out of the game. It helps with the pace of play. I think it also kind of it does lend itself to taking guys out early in the days of having a Nolan Ryan out there, right, or a Greg Maddux or something. Those days I think are pretty well gone. Guys just aren't built like that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be interesting because while pace of play has improved, I think maybe seeing starters kind of get back to that a quality start, right, where 6 innings is kind of like the gold standard.
It really is.
It's 5 1/3 or 5 2/3 innings, and we're patting guys on the back.
Yeah.
So,
hey, what? Kate, to cut you off, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and Trent, if we went to 25-year-old Nolan Ryan, 25-year-old, the Ryan Express, when his arm was as live and fresh as it ever got, and he was matured, what does he hit on the gun if you go, Nolan, you got 3 innings, just unload it? What would he do?
He hit 103.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway,
holy cow. Can you imagine? Hey, Nolan, give us 4 as hard as you can go. What's he hitting?
No, I mean, I don't know.
I don't want to be in the box. I'll tell you that.
He wasn't a max effort guy, but I mean, he did that. And he was the guy, Kade, right? Remember when he was in part ownership or whatever he's doing? He goes, pitch count. What are you talking about, pitch count?
Yeah.
I threw 150 pitches a game.
Yeah, part of the ownership group, I think of the Rangers, or at the time there was so much drama between him and the Rangers and the Astros, and now he's back to being a Rangers guy. There's a lot of drama in Texas over that, but I remember that comment.
Hey, Kate, I want to throw this out for Gator fans watching and listening. Kind of a neat trade, and Trent, you'll certainly remember all these names. Kind of a neat baseball trade. I want to say a day or two ago, the Royals and the Reds got together, and the Royals shipped off, it might have been multiple players, but the one that caught my eye, Brady Singer, one of the stars for Florida's College World Series championship team at UF. Brady Singer was part of a trade from the Royals to the Reds, and Jonathan India, the great third baseman for Florida, he came around a few years later than Brady Singer, but that was kind of a neat trade. A couple of established MLB guys from the University of Florida were part of a trade. I don't know if you saw that, Kate. It was pretty neat, I thought, for all guys around here.
Yeah, that was kind of the first big transaction of the winter so far. We've had a few little signings where, this is the time of year where teams are going out and kind of getting their I call it, building around the margins, if you will. Go get those types of guys that, will, they're not going to, move the needle a ton, but you got to have them. So that's kind of what this part of the winter's like. But that was kind of the first big transaction this winter. So I thought that was a pretty good trade. They both traded from a place of excess and fill a couple holes that each team had. So it was very rarely do you see a trade where you go, okay, I think both teams equally won out here.
Yeah, and that Florida and Trent played. By the way, Kate, just to catch you up on my buddy Trent here, lives here in the area, comes on a lot with us during baseball season, college and MLB. He played at Mississippi State in the 80s with a couple guys. A couple of his teammates were Will Clark, Rafael Palmeiro, Jeff Brantley, Bobby Thigpen, who had the AL save record for a long time. So, how about that Florida team that won the World Series several years ago? Brady Singer, been in the bigs for a long time. He was one of the aces. Alex Faedo, who's been in the bigs for a while. I mean, that's how you win. A couple good pitchers like that in baseball. Kate, to keep you a few more moments, I want to throw some more things at you. Should baseball fans in the Tampa St. Pete area be worried? This whole stadium situation, the roof gets blown off. That's been a fragile marriage, I guess you should say, between the fan base, the county, the stadium, the team. Is there any fear? I mean, is there any fear that this could be, you let your guard down a little bit, that somebody, San Antonio, Orlando, whoever, could swoop in and say, we'll build you whatever the hell you want by 2028, 2029.
Well, I think that, Nashville, I think, is the next logical choice for an expansion team. As far as being worried, I mean, the county and the city were supposed to put up half of this $1.3 billion. And now, the team's being kind of wibbly, kind of wobbly on it. And so the city and the county have come back and said, well, we need to know by Sunday morning what you want to do. And so then you throw on top of that, the roof being blown off, and Hurricane Milton kind of pushing that hearing from October to back in October. So there's a lot of discussion right now about this deal falling apart, and it's really on the onus of the Tampa Bay ownership on what to do. The cities and the counties are all in for this new 30,000 seat stadium, perfect size for that market.
Absolutely.
But the ownership group in the last 5, 6, 7 years has been notoriously very difficult to deal with and non-committal to the city. So in terms of, is there going to be baseball in Tampa Bay, St. Pete, and say 2028, 2029? I don't know.
Wow.
So you mentioned Nashville. I'm curious.
Great city, by the way. What a great city.
Fantastic city. And I'm a Miami boy, but what about New Orleans?
Well, that's where I'm currently standing, is in New Orleans.
Sure.
And so I would, selfishly, I'd love one. But the city wasn't able to support the AAA team when it was here both times. Once it's the Zephyrs and once it's the Baby Cakes. And so obviously, New Orleans fans are rabid fans, and they'll kind of support anything. But it would take having to get a baseball stadium somewhere close to downtown, because where the old baseball stadium used to be, kind of on the outskirts of town.
Okay, you still there? Do we lose you? Let's see if we can rehook up with Kade. I think we might have lost him there. But I did want to go back to his point, or our discussion point right there, and ask him, okay, Kade, you're talking about what is your concern level? And it sounds like he's got a concern level of, you know what, you can only leave your back door open so much before somebody comes in the back door, right? Yeah, somebody's going to break in.
100% agree with that.
And we'll keep this baseball talk going if we can catch Kade with a better hookup here over the next couple of minutes. I also wanted to ask him, I don't know if we talked about this off air, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. There's another absolute, what MLB thinks is going to be a star pitcher coming out of Japan, Sasaki. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Sasaki. And he got his, and help me with this, Trent, you've got to clear almost kind of waivers. The Japanese league, MLB has to go to the Japanese league and say, we would like to petition. Does the guy want to come out?
Yeah.
And they bless, and they've blessed this guy. And then it becomes a bid. And the Japanese Baseball League gets a huge sum of money.
Right.
But he's been cleared.
Yeah, because
he's out there.
You do pay the league for the rights to the player.
Yes.
But it's not a team that's paying the rights to the player. It's MLB saying, all right, and I'm pretty sure I have this right. So you go, okay, now he's released or put on
and I think we do have Kade back,
whatever you want to call it. And then it's open bid.
Yeah. And Kade, are you there? Yeah, I think, Kade, are you there? I think we've got you. And if not, he'll let us know. But yeah, he's cleared all the protocol now. So, is it Yankees? Is it Dodgers? Is it what is it? There's always 5 of them.
Red Sox,
4 or 5 of them.
Padres have been in the mix.
That can pony up. But man, I've seen a little film on him on YouTube. Ooh,
it's stupid.
Oh,
it really is.
I mean, he's touching 101 with run, and and painting the black. We were going to ask Kade about that, and also off-season moves. I don't know the actual dates of can guys sign right now. Obviously, the number one free agent out there is Soto. He's shopping his wares. He's asking for Ohtani type money, I think. $700 million type.
Here's. Do I think he's worth it? I don't know, man. I can't. But he's going to he can command it.
Yeah.
Now he's not if Ohtani's a two-way player.
Yeah, and Ohtani wants to pitch, and he's working toward pitching again.
So if he can,
he's been throwing.
He's far and away.
Absolutely, you would think
compensation-wise, the player. But you look at these organizations, and I realize you can pay the luxury tax or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's only to take a big market because you got to look at the teams that have the cable deals. What they call it cable. It's not cable anymore.
I know what you're talking
about.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So they have the TV deals.
The Nessens.
Where they're getting all that money pumped in, and then you pay the luxury tax. I will tell you right now, if George Steinbrenner was still alive, Soto would be a Yankee.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
And if you're Soto and his agent, certainly you aren't ignorant to the fact that $700 million Ohtani, two-way player. We're a one-way player, but their number may be 600. You ask for 7, right?
And settle for 6.
And settle for 6.
I'm okay with
yeah.
That. I'd be okay with
that.
Yeah.
Kade, are you still there?
No, I am. I'm so sorry.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, we got a couple more minutes. I wanted to jump in though. The new guy on the pedestal that I guess is open for bid now. It's been approved. All the paperwork. The new guy from Japan, if I'm pronouncing his name right, Sasaki. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, he's kind of the new thing. And so he'll actually be coming in. Teams will be able to sign him after January 15th, which is kind of when that international player window opens.
Is he best friends with Ohtani? I got to know that.
I mean, all these guys, they all know each other. And honestly, I don't foresee a scenario where he doesn't end up with the Dodgers.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a shoe. And I think the only other option out there that he might take would be something like the San Diego Padres, who have a pretty strong Japanese, affiliation with Japan and lots of ties there. But the only reason I think he would not go to the Dodgers is where does all the Japanese endorsement money go, right? Between him, Ohtani, and Yamamoto, I think the idea of where does this endorsement money come from? Whereas if you're, say, in San Diego, it's yours. So you're not competing with anyone.
There you go. Yeah, you're not cutting the pie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that you think the Dodgers are could possibly roll out Ohtani, Yamamoto. Didn't Walker Buehler? Didn't he get his arm back in the offseason?
Yeah, he did.
Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. I mean, all these guys still
Tyler,
on that one
Tyler
team?
Glasnow, who probably would have won who would have had a shot winning the NL Cy Young this year if he didn't have his arm fall off yet again. But if he's healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball.
Goodness gracious!
It could be the rich keep getting richer. So
my goodness.
And they don't care about that luxury tax.
Well, they don't. And, again, I mean, you just won the World Series. You finally did it, and then not on the COVID year, but, you won a World Series. You're the best team in baseball. You've got all the best players in baseball, the merchandise, every sellout game. I mean,
sure.
They're not hurrying. And that
will the Dodgers be able to keep that core together? I don't know contracts and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, are all on pretty long contracts. I think they even signed Glasnow an extension. So this past year. So I mean, this is going to be a super team dynasty that I think is going to end up rivaling what the Houston Astros did from like 2015 to now. So I think it's
Kade, a quick look ahead. Signings off season. Soto's out there. I guess the big one out there. of guys in the league already. You hear anything? Is it early? When will some stuff start popping with signing?
Yeah. So usually that all is going to start during the winter meetings, when kind of all the player agents, all the owners, all the GMs and president of baseball operations guys all get together. That's in Dallas this year, first week of December, I believe. And so that is the time where, Trey Turner signed during the winter meeting a few years ago. Aaron Judge signed during the winter meetings. Shohei Ohtani got his stuff done during that time frame. So, and kind of the industry is just kind of waiting for Soto to sign first, because that's going to kind of dictate, what a lot of these other guys are going to get, as well as, what do the budgets look like for the teams that missed out. And so I'm thinking, Juan Soto, probably a 12 to 14 year deal in the, 525 to 560 range.
Wow.
That would be my guess. And then all the dominoes will start falling after that. Corbin Burns is on the open market.
When Soto signs the deal, will it have Yankee pinstripes on the paperwork?
It feels like that, but again, I wouldn't count out the Dodgers on going after and getting Soto and getting it done.
Stop it!
No, I've heard the same thing, but
just stop it.
What about the Mets? Supposedly, and what you read, you don't believe everything. I'm not in the loop, obviously, like you are, but was it Blasky or Blake, whatever his name was, wouldn't give up 22, and that killed all talks with the Mets? Is that? Is there any validity there?
Yeah, a little bit. And the Mets have just been it's been an absolute failure of an organization for a few years now. I mean, I'm trying to be nice, but
but why would you go there? I mean,
right. And they're striking out on and off the field. You've got their last big acquisition was Francisco Lindor, and he got to New York and he was a completely different player. You got Pete Alonso, who, he's going to probably be out the door. So, getting Juan Soto for the sake of getting Juan Soto seems a little irresponsible where the Mets are at right now.
Good point.
They did make the playoffs, but,
Good. That's an interesting point. Big splash name, but if you got nothing to support it, you're just burning money, aren't you? Kind of in a weird way.
Yeah, and the Mets will.
But Cohen's got the money too,
so
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, interesting. All right, Kade, what about this crazy college football season we're wrapping up, man? And what about Saturday in college football? Are you kidding me? What a wacky day that was, huh?
Yeah, and I'm a former student athlete at Tulane University, so
they're hanging in there, man. They're hanging in there.
And there's
Green wave, baby.
Chance. Yeah, roll wave. So there's a chance.
You need a Boise State loss is what you need.
Yes, we do. And Boise State I've watched almost every single one of their games this year, and they come so close to.
Oh my God! Wyoming gave them a run the other night. Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off, Kade. Boise State. I know Jinty gets all the PR and the Heisman race and blah blah blah. Boise State has spit the hook out about 4 times. Now their only loss is to Oregon, and that's a good loss. But you're right, Kade. Boise has spit the hook out several times, man. And I know Tulane's fans are sitting there going, "Oh my God, come on, Wyoming, finish the job." The other night.
Yeah, it was. We were all watching that one pretty intently, and now Tulane, we've got our final regular season game coming up. But it's on Thanksgiving night, and then we have the AAC championship.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a college game on Thanksgiving, and I don't know that I've ever seen one on Thanksgiving.
Well, and Trent's a Mississippi State guy. They used to play the Egg Bowl. Mississippi State versus Ole Miss every Thanksgiving night, and that was a tradition. It was like the only game, right? It was the only game that night, and it was a great tradition. They got away from that. Real quick, that game is Memphis versus Tulane, and a lot of people thought, Memphis dropped a couple games. Memphis is pretty good, but they dropped a couple games. A lot of people thought that was going to be the Group of 5 playoff kind of thing to get one in. Hey, real quick, how good is Tulane? Are they pretty good?
I think Tulane is a very good team, very well-coached team, tons of talent on both sides of the ball, elite defense. I would say, and this isn't just me being a homer, I would say that if Tulane were to play Boise right now, I think Tulane is probably going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
That's a strong statement, man.
And off the top of your head, Tulane's got one loss, right? Do you remember who that was?
Two. One to Kansas State, and that was we actually had the game in hand, and the winning touchdown got pulled back by an offensive OPI. So, and it was very questionable. And then the second loss was against Oklahoma at Oklahoma, and that was by about 4 or 5 points. So
yeah, that Oklahoma that just undressed Alabama. That's that's the Oklahoma. Yeah, Tulane. I've watched them a couple times, and they've been good in the last several years. Tulane's been. I mean, who was that damn quarterback last year that was so good?
Michael Pratt.
And
and he's kind of the hero of the 2023 Cotton Bowl when we beat USC, led by Caleb Williams that year. That was Caleb Williams' Heisman winning season, and we beat them in the Cotton Bowl. I think we came back in by 21 points in 4 minutes. So, but yeah,
Tulane's fun, man. They're fun, man. They are. All right, Kade, I'll let you go. Enjoy your third turkey sandwich on Thanksgiving night as you're watching Tulane try to beat Memphis and praying somebody beats Boise.
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Good stuff, man. That's our buddy Kade Kistner, man. He knows baseball, and does a lot of stuff now with Sports Illustrated.
He's pretty plugged in.
Yeah, he really is. He's really, really a great baseball guy, and he's SI has given him more over the years. He covers NFL, very dialed in with the NFL and the Saints and their division and all, and obviously college football. Tulane, you ever see them? They're fun. They've been wide open the last couple of years. They run a fun offense, and that Michael Pratt they've had at quarterback is a player.
He is a player, and they've been sneaky good. So all of a sudden you look up and you go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How did they get in?
And their problem at Tulane is they'll get a Willie Fritz or a nice coach. He'll do stuff for 2 years, good stuff for 2 years, and then the South Carolinas will come snatch him up, or the Kansas States will snatch him up. But they're fun.
And you can't blame them. You can't blame the coach.
No,
for that.
No, you can't. You can't. Because Tulane's there are some limitations. Yeah. I think they still play their games. I think in the Superdome, which you may say, wait a minute. Well, you need your own campus, and I may be wrong about this, but I think they still play in the Superdome. You need your own campus stuff.
It's funny you should mention that. Since you're on that subject, what about the U?
Yeah,
they still
that hurts them. Miami,
100% agree
and
with
that. I get it. You know the lay of the land more than I do, and I promise, Casey, we'll get a break here in a second. You know the literal geography and lay of the land down there, and Coconut Grove and Coral Gables and all. There's not a lot of open space. You got to find somewhere to build you a stadium. You can't. Your home stadium just can't be 45 minutes away.
No,
it's tough. And I get it. They practice at Green Tree, so they're not going to practice. Game day, college football game day, your games should be on your campus.
100%. Especially at that
your
level.
Co-eds and your frat boys walk to the games. You're supposed to walk. And, gosh, I've been in Gainesville the last 2 Saturdays. LSU, Florida. Ole Miss, Florida. And this is at all big time. Man, I park and I'm mosey. Your fans are stirring. Your students are everywhere. That's what college football is. Not everybody's got to get in the car and drive 45 minutes to Fort Lauderdale and tailgate around that stadium.
No, because you got to find a driver. You got to do
absolutely.
All that.
It loses a lot.
What these campuses are doing now is they're catering in the tents and the food, and all that stuff, and it's a different vibe. I mean, I grew up 15 minutes south of the
and then post game. Think about it. I've never been on Miami's campus.
It's small.
I've never been on their campus post game of a big win in the Dolphin Stadium, but I just left post game in Gainesville, which is a standard big, massive SEC school. Post game, you just won a massive game. 90,000 fans are out. The place is on fire.
Yeah.
The town is on fire the rest of the night. Yeah. I can't imagine that Coral Gables is on fire after they won 45 minutes away, and the students that are at the game, they won't be back into their area for hours.
Yeah.
Hours. You got to get on campus. You really do. Let's take a break here. Cruising through a lot of topics here on a Tuesday. Fun show. Trenton Torsia, my buddy, visiting with us here. I'm Terry Norvelle. We'll come back, wrap up some topics, and then, Trent, you want to hang around for trivia? We do trivia. Or do you got to get going? You tell me, man. It's your business.
No, I can hang around for trivia.
Do you feel smart?
No.
Do you feel smart?
No.
No?
But.
All right. Hang around. I'm not smart. I fumble through this thing.
I love to compete.
There you go. There you go. Gorgeous sunset happening over the first coast. We'll take a break. Come back. A busy Tuesday continues from Hurricanes, Joynton Creek.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Right back into it, man. It's been a fun, busy Tuesday edition from Joynton Creek, the Hurricanes location in the heart of Mandarin. By the way, Trenton Torsia joining us. I'm Terry Norvelle. We'll have Trivia Pat in a moment. Boy, Josh is
intimidated.
Hey, Josh is running around here. The owner, Josh, and his wife Callie own this place. He's kind of stepping lightly because he's the FSU part of that relationship, and she's the Gator part. And
how
husband and wife.
House divided.
Yeah, definitely. Trent, are you okay? Can you hear yourself?
Good.
You good?
100%.
All right, we'll get our buddy Trivia Pat on momentarily. Real quick, hold on one second. Wanted to get to we've been busy as heck today. College football selection show is tonight. Obviously, it doesn't matter. The one that matters is a week from Sunday, the actual selection show. It will be interesting to see what the committee does tonight, ranking wise. How far do they drop Alabama? How far do they drop Ole Miss? And if you look at the SEC standings, if the SEC is going to get 4, and I'm not sure they're going to get 4, they will have to get a 3-loss team. The math just doesn't work. They've started to beat each other up. How far, and also how far do they creep Tennessee up? Tennessee now, they got to go beat Vanderbilt. They don't play in Atlanta, but Tennessee wants to move up to be in safe zone. But how far do they drop Alabama and Ole Miss? And it could be key if the committee does put a 3-loss SEC team in.
So it's interesting because I heard this today on the radio, and Alabama's not Alabama with Nick Saban there anymore.
No.
And so
no.
How much does their legacy live on in terms of, it's Alabama. I think Ole Miss drops a lot. Mm-hmm. And there's also some questions on Jackson Dart in terms of his health, which they can't confirm, but it's out there. There's, in my opinion, when you get beat by a mediocre Oklahoma
and
team,
that is what they are,
and you got housed,
and that is what happened.
There's no way you're in the mix anymore.
Yeah,
as your 3rd loss.
What does and how does the committee value what Indiana's done? Indiana has a woeful schedule. They have no big wins. They play Purdue, so they don't have another game. They won't be in the championship game of their conference. They got roughed up by the one really good team they face. How does the committee look at 1-loss Indiana versus an Ole Miss with 3 losses and Alabama with 3 losses? I mean, Alabama, they stunk, but I mean, they've lost to Tennessee. Vanderbilt's having a decent year. How do they look at 1-loss Indiana playing nobody versus 3-loss whoever?
Well, so Indiana, the only team they played, to your point, they got roughed up. There's some merit there. And I'm going to tell you right now, a 3-loss
they're going to go 11-1. They're going to beat Purdue.
Right.
So Indiana's going to be 11-1 without a signature win at all and an ugly big boy loss.
And they don't play in their championship game.
They won't play in their championship game.
You're going to – where are they at? They're at 5 right now, right? So
I think they're 5, yeah.
So
do
you drop 8 spots? I mean, that's the thing.
How much does the committee truly value strength of schedule? Here's one for you.
That's a good question.
Here's one for you. The Big Ten, there's a very, very, very good chance that when the season's over, including the championship game Saturday, the Big Ten their top 4 teams could all be 1-loss, 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 1-loss. Oregon's undefeated. They play Ohio State. I think Ohio State will beat Michigan. I think Oregon will beat Washington. They'll play in Indianapolis. If Ohio State beats Oregon, 1-loss Oregon going into Sunday selection. 1-loss Ohio State. They only lost to Oregon. Indiana is not going to lose to Purdue. Indiana's going to go 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State has Maryland. They're not going to lose to Maryland. Penn State 11-1. The Big Ten, very, very easy. It's very easy to assume they'll have 4 teams with 1 loss. But their strength of schedule. What do you do with Indiana? Penn State's kind of the same way. Penn State really doesn't have a great win.
No,
right?
And it's funny. So if you look at the conference balance and you go, well, wait a minute. No, you got to look at strength of schedule.
At what point?
You have to.
And you know what? You can say strength of schedule all you want, but until you knock down a team and you say, hey, man, they just didn't play a strong schedule. But strength of schedule just looks good on paper until you use the electric chair the threat of the electric chair is not as strong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Until you use it.
And then now it's going to go to the old adage. Well, everybody is pro SEC. That
I agree.
SEC's a gauntlet, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no easy out. Look at Vandy, who's been a doormat for years, right? They're pretty good
with
team.
Brent Beard yesterday, Brent was talking about what you just said. And by the way, we got a trivia Pat. We're going to scoot him in here in a second. Brent said, you know what? I just can't believe that the middle group of the Big Ten could do what the middle group of the SEC just did this past Saturday. And I said, you know what, Brent? I'm going to follow up on that. I just don't see Nebraska, Wisconsin, who are kind of in that – they're where Florida is at in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Nebraska, Wisconsin beating Ohio State, but I just saw Florida beat Ole Miss and LSU, a couple top 10 teams. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see tonight what – it doesn't matter because the Sunday after the championship, Saturday, is all that matters. But I think you'll see what they value a little more tonight.
But it does matter a little bit because think about what happened last year with Florida State.
Yeah.
Where they go, how do you have them all year long here? And then the final, because the quarterback gets hurt the final weekend of the season, they drop out of the Final Four. Now, this is the 12. I get it. But the point is, there's going to be somebody.
Yeah.
It's every year.
But until
snub.
And you go back a long way. You're an old coot like me. The committee has always said, here is the criteria: strength of schedule. Until they really use that to boost somebody in that has more losses, but you go, they've got a great strength. And until you use that to knock somebody out, it's just on paper. I mean, this year, looking at Indiana, hell, you could make the argument about Notre Dame. Notre Dame has one good win. They beat Texas A&M in week 1. Now, Texas A&M, Notre Dame needs Texas A&M to beat Texas, because if Texas beats Texas A&M has 4 losses. That's the one and only big win that Notre Dame has nothing on their schedule.
That devalues that win.
I'm sorry FSU is terrible this year, and I'm sorry USC is terrible. Anywho, let's welcome trivia Pat. Pat, say hi. 1, 2.
1, 2.
You hear yourself?
Yep.
Okay, scoot in a little bit.
You can scoot in.
Yeah, I know he's a weirdo, this Trenton Torsia guy. But how the heck are you doing? Trivia Pat.
Good.
Right
How
here.
are you guys?
Entertainment.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving is right.
Yeah.
What are we, 2 days away?
Yeah.
2 days away?
Yeah.
So
a little concerned about the questions tonight.
Well, I'm sitting next to you. You don't
Why
have
are
to
you
worry.
concerned?
You don't have to worry.
Why are you concerned?
Do you have a Thursday night show that will be canceled or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cancel.
So we won't do it Thursday at your location where?
Dick's Wings.
Okay. Is that going to be moved or just you'll pick it up next?
Pick it up next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's understandable. And
Yep.
everybody knows that. You're here tonight.
Yep.
Obviously, 7 o'clock. Trent, have you ever, this is kind of your home hangout, Join the Creek Hurricanes. Have you ever hung out here and done trivia?
Trent has, yeah.
Have you won?
No.
Well, he's got you.
All right, get your ass up.
Well, but
Trent, scram. You're out of here, pal. Beat it.
I haven't completely won.
All right, so I'll throw one out. I'm going to throw one out here to you guys just to get us started. I just brought up Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And we know Notre Dame every year plays both service academies, Army and Navy. Just to test you guys a little bit, you can tell me the year, and I'll give you within 5 years, either way, or the player. The last service academy year or player that won the Heisman Trophy. Just to get us warmed up here, both of you guys. Last service academy, obviously Army or Navy. It could have been Air Force, but Army, Navy. I'll give you that. It was an Army or Navy.
I think I know the answer.
You can go year within 5 or the actual player.
I have
if
the
you
player.
think you've got a answer, just one.
No.
Give me an answer, and then you'll give one.
Well, you old kooks. I don't know. I don't know how far back we're going.
And
Who's
you know
the player,
what? There's
Trent?
probably one after him, but I think it's Roger Staubach.
Do you want to add anything, subtract anything? Go with that. 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 Whoa, who's saying?
Well,
go
when
with
he's saying there's probably one after it, he's got me second guessing it, but
There is
I'm
not.
going to go with it. Yeah.
Roger Staubach,
Yeah.
1963, quarterbacking Navy. And obviously, you know Staubach. Staubach, the great Dallas Cowboy quarterback. The dominant, even more than Aikman. Staubach was much more part of the offense, and he was Roger the Dodger, the great Cowboy teams. Roger Staubach playing for Navy. And, by the way, a high draft choice. He had to go finish his commission.
Yeah.
And
which
then
he
came.
Which is so commendable.
He went and did his commission
And
and
had
then
a Hall
came
of
to
Fame
the
career.
3 or 4 years later, came to the Cowboys. So he gave away 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And it was a great player. Hall of
Still
Fame
had a
player.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And has a mega successful, he got in the real estate business. Very successful. Roger the Dodger, 1963.
Nowadays, the service will let these guys
they've kind of loosened
defer
that. They've kind of loosened that up. They really have.
If they want to try and
who came close to winning the Heisman? Navy had a running back, Napoleon McCallum.
I know. I thought about that.
Remember him in the 80s?
I was worried about.
And he was a big-time running back and had big numbers. He probably finished in the top 5.
I was worried about
But
him.
yeah, the last and I did this off the top of my head, but the last Service Academy Heisman guy. Now, way back when Army and Navy were dominant, they were dominant in college football. You had everybody going into the Army and everybody going into the Navy because of the wars, and they would defer these great players, all these great players. So, Ernie, Doc Blanchard, and all those guys, they won a bunch of Heismans back in the day. All right.
So who's the great Navy basketball player?
I know.
That's a layup.
I know, and I was at JU, and he was on our campus.
Ooh,
David Robinson.
Was he? Yeah.
David
got to see
Robinson
him play? Yeah.
He, David Robinson, the great Hall of Famer is that who you're thinking about?
Yeah.
The great center from Navy, who had an all-star career.
6'10", 6'11".
At San Antonio. He was a star at San Antonio. He, Navy guy, great All-American player at Navy basketball. They weren't great, but he was great. He joined the Navy and just sprouted up. He served his commission at Kings Bay.
No kidding.
Right up this. So he volunteer coached at JU to stay around the game because he had 2 years. Yeah. And he was on campus when I was at JU. There you go.
Wow.
So we're 1-0. No, we're 2-0. And both questions were 8,000 gazillion point questions. So we're way ahead. All right, Trivia Pat.
All right.
Here you go. You got a Mississippi State educated guy right here.
I've heard.
I don't know if that's going to help. Is that going to help us or hurt us?
It's not the Harvard of the South.
And you got a JU guy.
Probably going to hurt.
It may hurt. Here we go.
All right, you ready?
I'll take the JU educated guy.
Here we go.
You ready for a food question? All right.
How you feeling, Trent? Food?
I love food.
Multiple choice.
Oh,
What
boy.
is now? This is based off of a .com survey.
.comer.
What is the least popular Thanksgiving side dish? Is it A, green bean casserole?
And we'll talk it through here.
B, cranberry sauce?
Okay.
C, Brussels sprouts?
Okay.
Or D, cream mushrooms?
What are your thoughts? I'm going to throw you my thought first. Brussels sprouts, I think, I love Brussels sprouts. I didn't like them as a kid because it sounded like an adult dish. I'm leaning Brussels sprouts. What are your thoughts?
They're not highly popular. I'm not a fan of cranberry. And the cream of mushroom, like, I haven't really seen that.
Yeah, I'll take some of that right now, though, on some dressing. Put that on some dressing, and I'll take it right now.
The only thing I wouldn't take is the cranberry.
I'm hungry right now.
Let's
go Brussels sprouts. I think that's the
I'm
name.
okay with that.
We're going to say Brussels sprouts.
All right. Green bean casserole.
Come on, Trent. Trent, I need more out of you.
There's
Trent.
no way.
But it's
I love green. Everybody loves green bean casserole. I don't believe that.
We're having it Thursday. What are you talking about?
I don't believe that.
Yo, I can't.
It's just a dumb question.
So we're having the least popular Thanksgiving dish ever.
I can't do any of those, guys.
Hey, by the way, that's just a dumb question. Do you understand what a dumb question is? If I don't know the answer, that's a dumb question.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I've known you long enough.
Green bean casserole. The only reason I think that would be true in a survey is it's so many people have it on the table. It can get a lot of negative because maybe people don't have Brussels sprouts on the table, or like you said, cranberry or whatever. It's a dumb
mushroom. The cream of mushroom.
All right, hold on. WL Trent, I'm putting an L right there.
Oh, my gosh.
Son of a gun. All right, next question.
All right.
That was a trick question, by the way.
That was a bad question. It's just a bad question.
There's never a bad question.
Bad question.
All right. Hang on.
Here we go. Hanging on, people. Here we go. Just hanging on, Trent. That's all we're doing.
I'm hanging on.
Who's paying for this time? Who cares? Who cares?
All right. In 1995, this vegetable.
Were you alive in 1995?
I was.
Okay.
Why are we getting vegetable questions?
Yeah, what the hell? What about
This vegetable
Farmer Mr. Green Jeans over here? What are we doing?
Was the first to be grown in space.
Crickets.
Don't overthink it. It's
What do you just overthink it? Just one of the million vegetables. So okay.
So the first vegetable grown in space.
Yep.
All right. So he said don't
That's gotta
overthink it.
be
It's a basic, potato, corn,
carrot.
Let's go carrot.
I heard potato. It's
You did
potato.
hear
I
we said potato.
Yeah.
Trent was saying potato. We said no, potato.
It's okay. It's
All right, we're taking that
potato,
one.
potato.
Can we get off the food questions for God's sake?
Yeah.
That's unreal.
We can go to geography.
Great.
Oh, that's even better.
What have I done here?
Take me back to food.
Yeah, exactly.
In 2023, which state raised the most turkeys?
By the way,
And then we'll get off.
It's going to be a
this is
small
so
state.
apropos. This is so appropriate right now. Do you guys know that I do the greatest turkey call ever? If I do it, are y'all prepared for turkeys to show up at that door? Is that not the greatest turkey call ever? I could record that and sell it. Duck Dynasty, move over.
By the way, there's some wild turkeys.
Look
in
at them.
winter. They might show
Get
up.
out of here, guys. Thursday's a bad day for you. Run. Is that not a great turkey call? Seriously.
Jerry, I'm amazed. You're a man with multiple talents.
Dude,
I can't argue.
that's
with
on my
it.
resume. I swear it's on my
Cannot
resume.
argue with
It's
it.
line 2 on my resume. Great turkey call.
I do. Wow.
So what was the question?
Which state?
Okay,
Yeah.
who raises the most turkeys? Did you guys see Biden try and pardon the turkey yesterday? He screwed the speech. It was a mess. He pardons the turkey
Yeah.
every year. You know that, right?
Yeah, but
he
when
screwed
the speech. He's already screwed up enough speeches.
It was a mess. It was.
Don't let the man take a microphone.
Okay, who raises? What state would be a turkey?
It's got to be a small state.
Midwest.
Yeah, I figured a small
Okay,
Midwestern state.
I'll give you that.
Midwest.
Because you could say
may-
like Vermont or Massachusetts.
No.
What do you
but
think,
I'm
Trent?
thinking.
It's a dumb question. I know that.
I'm thinking Iowa.
Iowa. Let's go Iowa.
Minnesota.
Stupid question. That's a loss. Come on, Trent.
Minnesota.
Gosh darn it. Minnesota.
It's so cold in Minnesota.
Yeah. What's the deal with turkeys in Minnesota?
All right, Terry, off the back of your question.
That is a great turkey call. I can't lie.
that's-
I got to make money off that somehow.
Which president was the first to officially pardon a turkey
Oh, I heard
at Thanksgiving?
I know
I
the
just
answer
heard
to
that.
that.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's Reagan.
No, way before that.
No.
At Thanksgiving. That's the
we're going to do a double answer. He's going to say Ronald Reagan. I'm going to say Abraham Lincoln.
okay. Because I clarified at Thanksgiving. Lincoln was the first to do it, but he did it on Christmas. JFK was
We
the first
get
one.
that right. Abe, we get that
Yep.
right.
Yes, we do.
We get that
And
right.
then-
He pardoned the freaking. He was the first one, right?
Okay.
That's a W.
You know what? I'll give it to you.
Oh, what do you mean?
I'll
Whoa,
give
whoa.
it.
We don't need
I
no
give-
handicap here. No.
And then
We won that.
H.W. Bush made it an annual tradition.
Hey, Trent. Hey, Pat.
No, Reagan.
Hey, you two. Focus.
Look at those turkeys. I'm
Oh,
not paying for it. I got it for free.
All right, we're 2-2. 2
All
and
right.
2. Let me get my timer.
that
here.
good?
We're gonna take this bad boy up. You got a few more questions, right?
Yeah.
We're taking this to the end. We're gonna win this thing. Trent, we want to be winners. Come on, Mississippi State education.
We have been
2-2.
You didn't even mention the
You ready?
Miami public education.
Yeah, we're ready.
too.
Yes. What high school? Jackson?
Southridge.
Southridge? Yeah, okay. All right.
When is the Canadian Thanksgiving celebrated?
This guy's driving me nuts.
What are we
bad,
doing?
This bad question. It's just bad. When is Canadian Thanksgiving? The day we didn't just slap the taste out of their mouth. I don't know. We got to have the exact day? I mean, come on. What kind of question is that?
That's hard.
Give me the month.
I'm going to say,
give me the month.
It's December.
We'll go December.
October.
Stupid question. That's a loss. We're 2-3. These are just. Are you proud of your questions today?
Yeah.
These are terrible questions. They're bad questions.
Yeah.
2-3.
Pat's about to phone in and help you out there.
Are you happy we're going? Are you happy you're sending us into the holiday week in a bad mood if we don't rally? You ready to rally? Are you ready to rally?
Yeah,
All
we have.
right, we got to get a guy on base.
I thought it was either October or December. I actually was.
That's a good guess.
We're back on food.
All right, here we go. Food.
What is a stuffed chicken stuffed into a duck that's stuffed into a turkey called?
Turducken.
Yep.
Boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody
Nice.
now, boom.
Nice pull.
Boom. How about that?
Nice pull.
You know, John Madden used to always have a turducken on the Thanksgiving broadcast.
By the way,
Of course he did.
They're going to do a big thing for him Thursday.
Are they?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Triple header. By the way, we're 3-3, Trent. Focus. I need you to focus. Your inner Mississippi State Bulldog education needs to come out right now.
Well, okay.
Thanks for skipping all those classes, Trent. It's going to kill us right now.
I still passed them, though.
You cheated. You had your forum full of answers.
Well, or my shoe or something.
Yeah, oopsie daisy. Hey, how'd that get there?
I don't know.
All right.
Dean of students? I don't know. How'd that get there?
What
Here we
is
go.
the record-holding dessert that measures over 20 feet in diameter?
You're bugging me now. You know that, right?
And weighs more than 3,000 pounds.
Dessert.
Don't overthink
Wow.
it.
Okay,
It's
we're talking among ourselves. Okay, first thing I would think is pumpkin pie, but okay, ask the question again. Dessert that what?
measures over 20 feet in. Oh my God. Measures over 20 feet in diameter and weighs more than 3,000 pounds.
It's got to be a pumpkin pie.
We're going pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
And we are winners. You know what? 4-3. We've got 9 minutes left.
All right. Let's get you back to.
And if we get another 1 or 2 right, we are going 4 corners. We're going to stall. Is what we're going to do. No, we won't do that. We want to win with dignity.
Hang on.
All right. 4-3. What's up with all these food questions? What do you think? I'm Rachel Ray over here?
I mean, it is a sports show.
What are we? Guy Fieri? Is he a food guy? Yeah, he's a food guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I like Guy Fieri.
Yeah,
But you know who I love though?
Who?
Bobby Flay.
Yeah, is he still around?
Oh yeah.
Is he the New Orleans guy? Kind of no.
No, he's New Yorker.
Okay, New Yorker. All right.
No, you're thinking
Did y'all ever watch that?
You're thinking
cake
about
show?
Emerald.
Oh yeah, Emerald. He's the New Orleans.
Yeah.
You ever watch that cake show from a while ago? They'd order a New York bakery thing, and they'd order these humongous cakes, and they'd show. It was unbelievable how to make those big cakes. You know, you can like order
the attention to details.
A truck cake or a building, Empire State Building cake.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay, I'm stalling. We're up 4-3. Ask a good question. All
right.
One that
Florida.
we know.
Florida.
Oh, here we go. Florida man. Here we
which
go.
county is the largest by land area in Florida?
Well, Duval, of course.
I'll give you multiple choices.
Dirty Duval.
Is it
It's Duval.
It's Duval. If you say it's not Duval, I'm kicking you right out of
Or
this.
Dade. Maybe it's Dade.
Is it A, Duval,
It's
B, Palm Beach County, C, Miami-Dade, or D, Collier County?
It's Dade.
Go Dade.
I heard Collier County.
Now we're taking a
Collier
loss.
County.
I don't believe that. I'm calling you right. I'm calling your.
How's it Collier County?
By land area. Duval's probably by square miles.
Duval is by square miles.
No, that's a bad. We're taking a loss because we're
Do you know-
grown ass
you know how
men
many
here.
big-
It's a bad
You know
question.
how big Miami-Dade is?
Bad question.
Not
Don't
as-
fight him. Trent.
not as big
Don't
as-
fight him. When
That's where I grew up.
when he's in his bad question mood, you can't fight him. Bad question. We're going to win anyway. It's 4-4. 4 wins, 4 losses. It's Duval, I think. No, I think it's Duval.
If it's not Duval, it's Miami-Dade.
It's Miami-Dade.
Collier
It's a
County's
bad
like the
question.
middle of the state.
It's
Oh,
bad.
that's the thing. There's no population there.
So it just goes.
Yeah.
I don't like it, Trent.
I
You know,
totally-
that's fine. That's, you know what? That's fine. We got a bad call. Hey, they went to the replay booth. They made the call. It was the wrong call, but we're going to win anyway.
We host a sports
We're going to score anyway.
All right.
TV.
Food. TV. Here we go. Television.
Which of the following TV shows has been running the longest?
We're going to talk our way through this. Okay?
Law and Order, Family Guy, Grey's Anatomy, or NCIS?
Grey's Anatomy is my vote.
I think I'm shaking that one off.
Okay.
What are the other two? Family Guy. I know The Simpsons is like the longest running show right now that hasn't been stopped. Simpsons been running for over 30 years. Give me the choices.
Law and Order, Family Guy, Grey's Anatomy, or NCIS?
Grey's Anatomy's over 30 years too.
Now, did you say continuous making new episodes?
It's continuous making new episodes. So
it's not Grey's
Anatomy's still on,
but they're running replays. He's saying currently they're making new season. That's what you're saying.
Are they still doing Family Guy?
I think so. And it's either Family Guy or CSI. What did you say?
NCIS is the last one.
It's one of those two. It's either NCIS.
It could be NCIS. But
hold on. What are you saying? NCIS or Family Guy? Trent, make a call. Gosh darn, do it right. It's
NCIS.
Trent, I need you. We're going NCIS.
I told you what
we're going NCIS.
My pick was.
It's Law and Order.
What? It's a real stupid question right there. 4 and 5. We need
to
think
about the original.
We got 5 minutes.
Done, like Special Victims Unit. It's all under Law and Order.
That's a trick question.
100%.
Trick question.
100%.
Hold on. You see this little asterisk? That represents under protest. Protest. We're filing a protest. All right, we're 4 and 5. We got 4.5 minutes, and we got to rally.
A sports one for you guys.
No, you just find whatever you want. We're Renaissance men. It doesn't matter. You know what? You want to come in here with food and geography? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't need no handicap here. You know what?
It's not
time for this.
Hang on.
I'm in a foul mood now, Trent. I hope you're happy on a Tuesday. You're sending me out of here in a foul mood.
No, not actually.
Foul mood guy.
Who holds the world record for the fastest time in the 100-meter race?
We're going to talk amongst ourselves. Usain Bolt. Gotta be. Has anybody beat Usain Bolt?
It just was.
Did somebody just beat him? If it's not Usain Bolt, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so mad at somebody not named Terry.
It's hard. It's hard to go against Usain Bolt.
Did anybody? I mean, he was 3 or 4 Olympics
recently,
ago.
The guy was. I don't think he broke the record.
Tyson Gay. We got to go Usain Bolt. I don't know anybody else.
Because the most recent guy.
I don't think he's going to accept the most recent guy as our answer. Are you?
No, but his name escapes me.
You know what?
And that's who it is, isn't it?
We've got we've got to go
got
Usain Bolt.
It's Usain. It's Usain.
All right, we are tied. Oh my God, it is 5-5. We have 3.5 minutes left. Casey, our producer, is on the edge of his seat. I can tell. We're on the edge of our seat. The masses are on. Where's this game going to go? I mean, we just had the 2-minute warning. We're inside the 2. We're at the 2-minute warning right now.
$10 million question.
Oh, good God, $10 million fucking dollars. Oh my God. Oh my God.
How many different NBA teams has LeBron played for?
Oh gosh.
Okay, so
let's go Cleveland, Lakers. It went to Cleveland again. Has he played for anybody but those two?
The Heat.
The Heat. Thank you. He played for Cleveland twice, I think. The Heat and the Lakers.
Do you have to count Cleveland twice?
No, just how many different teams? So
3.
Include Cavs,
Lakers,
and
what did I just say?
The Heat.
3.
Boom.
Boom. We are on. We're leading.
You went the wrong way.
Oh, God darn. Scoreboard malfunction. So it's 6-4. No, 6-5. And hold on, 10-9. We're coming up on the 2-minute warning. Okay, 2-minute warning. Do you have 2 more questions?
Yeah.
To make it fair? Okay.
I can get you 2 more
Trent,
questions.
my God, Trent. My God. It's 6-5, Trent.
But that was a $10 million question.
Yeah, that was
financially we're way ahead.
I'll get Josh to get it out of the safe.
All right. If you got 2 more quick ones.
All right.
We got 145 left.
What?
So nervous, Trent. I'm nervous.
What 1990 movie was based off a Tom Clancy novel and starred Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin?
The Hunt for Red October.
Oh,
Whoa!
Such a
I
great
felt I didn't mean to jump you. Great movie. And that means this final question doesn't matter. We're winners.
Does not matter.
You got one more for us.
I do.
And by the way, trivia here tonight starts at 7. If
7.
you're in the Mandarin area.
7
o'clock. They're giving away prizes here at Hurricanes Jointon Creek. I'm sorry to jump you there. I knew that.
No,
I love that movie.
I did too.
You know it, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're up 7-5. This is just a show-off question. We're going to show off.
Where's geography?
Bring it. Hey,
I'm just kidding.
Bring it. I went to
I'm
J
just
freaking
kidding.
JU, Jacksonville.
Now, close it out with sports.
Cheer for Jacksonville. We are the smartest. We're better than you.
In 10-pin bowling.
10-pin bowling.
If you were to bowl a perfect game, how many times would you roll the ball down the alley?
Okay.
12.
12. We say 12.
Yes.
And
gentlemen, I am impressed.
Very nice. Good questions. You rebounded. You had some bad ones, but you rebounded.
Josh.
Hey, we're out of
$10
here.
million.
Nice. $10 million for these guys. All right, that'll do it. We are out of here. Trent, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Thanks to Kate Kistner, our producer, Casey, everybody that made it happen. We're winners. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. I'm a little verklempt. And we'll do it tomorrow on a Wednesday live from Twin Peaks. Come say hi at the intersection of Kernan and Atlantic. We're out of here. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143.